Hi guys, J Michaels here. Now you've probably seen the video of Nikki Tutorials doing all of her palettes for her eyes. Now I'm going to be doing the same. Now obviously I don't have 150 odd palettes like she did. I've got 12 palettes here. So my challenge for today is that I have to use these 12 palettes to create a glam going out look where both the eyes match. So that's my challenge, to make it so it looks everyday glam. So if you want to see what happens, please keep on watching. So first of all, I'm going in with the technique underneath the C, and I'm going to take a seashell. What's this sort of white, creamy sort of shade? I'm just going to take this, I'm just going to put it all over the lid just to set my base that I've put down. So I've done my base and I've done my eyebrows ready, so I don't have to do them. So next I'm going with the Lorac Pro, the Bakery palette. It looks a bit like this. And I'm going to take the shade Granola. What's this dark brown shade? I'm going to take this in my outer V on the outer side of my lid. So I'm just going to take it on a nice morphy fluffy brush. I'm going to start in the outer corner, sort of just bring it into my eyelid and blend it out softly. I'm not going to put too much of this because obviously I have to do 11 more shades, so I'm going to take a little bit, bring it in there. Now I'm taking the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star collab, the Conspiracy palette, and I'm going to take this lighter brown there, Tanacon, to blend that out. So with the same fluffy brush, I'm just going to dip into the Tanacon and just slowly buff that out, bring it up into my brow and just slowly buff it out till there's like nothing there really. And I'm just going to take that same shade and take it into my eyebrow, blend it out like so. Now I'm hoping this is going to go well. I can see, I feel like I'm just going to look like hot trash after this. I feel like that is the way it's going to be. But if it is, it is. At least I can say I tried. Now I'm going with the Morphe Blue Your Way, and I'm going to go in with this dark sort of aubergine colour there, and that's just going to go deepen my crease and my outer edge. So now I'm going to take this small Morphe M506 brush, dip into that, and I'm just going to deepen so slightly that outer edge, just to give me that deeper sort of dimension of look. Or I'm going to look like I've got mud on my eyes, but we can try. I'm going to bring that on half my lid as well. Now I'm going to take my fluffy brush again and just try and blend any harsh lines out, just blend it into the brown as well. Now I'm going in with the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette, and I'm going in with this lighter brown there called Mr. Diva. Hopefully I'm going to use that just to blend everything out, make everything look a bit smoother. You can dip into that Mr. Diva and just blend everything out. So now I'm going to take this Steve Laurent palette. I'm going to take this goldeny bronze there to go all over the lid, and I'm using my M124 brush just to stamp that on the lid. If that doesn't work very well, I'll just use my finger. I'm just going to take it with my finger just to make it look a little bit brighter. And then I'm going back with the brush just to sort of carve my lid out, just so it looks a little bit more precise. Now I'm going to take the Pride palette from Revolution We Are Love. I'm going to take this golden shade down here and I put that in the centre of my lid, just to give sort of a halo sort of effect. Now I use the same brush again, just dip into that golden shade and just stab it on in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is, with any excess left on the brush, I'm just going to take it and just blend both sides in, just so it looks a little bit more flawless. There's not a harsh line from going to like copper to gold. So now I'm going to take the Morphe Fierce by Nature palette. I'm going to take this shade just down here on the outer edge for my lower lash line. So I'm going to take the Morphe M152 brush, and it's sort of just like a flat sort of bumpy look brush, just so it can go in the outer edge. I'm going to run this on the outer of my lower lash line. I'm going to go too dark on the bottom, just because where I went quite dark on top, just contrast it out a little bit, because if I went too dark on the bottom it's just going to look a little bit too much, I feel. Now I'm going to take the 24A Archery palette and I'm going to take Desert Vibes just to blend in that darker shade into the inner portion of my eye. I'm going to take it there and just sort of bring it into that eye and just marry them two shades up together. Now I'm going to take this little MUA palette. I'm just going to take this white shimmery shade there as my inner highlight. So I'm just going to take this little Morphe brush, dip into that shade and just go into my inner highlight with it. So now this is the problem that I've got. I've got the big James Charles palette and the small James Charles palette. So I'm like, do I use both of them and use a shade from each, or do I just get rid of one because I'm just using the same palette twice. But I think for the fairness of it, I'm going to use a shade from this palette and a shade from this palette. Now with the mini James Charles palette, I'm going to take Face and I'm going to use that as my brow highlight. So I'm just going to take a Morphe N166 brush, I'm going to feather that in and then just feather that down. I feel like Face is a really good colour, like a brown nude look, because where it's quite a champagne-y or quite a dark champagne tone, it sort of just blends in quite nice with it. Now from my big James Charles palette, I'm going to take Ring Light and put the smallest amount just on the centre of my lid, just make it really pop. I'm going to take a small Morphe brush again, dip into Ring Light, put a tiny bit, literally just the smallest bit, just over the top, just to really make it pop. Right, that's all my palettes I have, all 12 palettes so far that I've got in my collection that I've used on my eyes. Quite proud of this look, actually, not gonna lie. I'm gonna put some eyeliner on and some lashes and I'll be back for the final results. Right guys, this is the finished look. I've put some lashes on and a lip. I'm quite impressed I didn't make a massive blur of loads of different shades together. I'm happy to go out in this, like clubbing or to dinner or something like that. So I'm really happy with the end results. If you think I've done well and you really enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and please hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, see you later guys.